What is up, Earthnoids and Space-Noids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we're returning to Mobile Suit Moon Gundam. Last time, Rey and Kylo Ren used the Force to become one. No, we're not doing that. Last time, Yuta and Minerva used their new type powers to become one. Gyune got a knee to the gut, stupid Gyune, and everyone begins to converge on Antarctica. This time, Shard learns of the history regarding Moon. It is a conspiracy that goes all the way back to the old century. So let's get into this. In the brig, Saphira is doing push-ups when Nanai walks in. She feels like she has gotten weak since she's left Earth. Imagine you spend your life in space and you feel gravity for the first time? Has to be the worst jet lag ever. Saphira has lost people in the Dublin colony drop, so she has no patience for Neo Zeon. Nanai asks her how Yuta and Minerva came to meet one another. She doesn't know and was hoping Nanai could shed some light. She doesn't know either, but they are obviously infatuated with one another. Nanai says that Minerva is highly educated and doesn't speak to males so easily. Saphira is being rude to Nanai, but after hearing that, her ears perk up. She turns around and says they are in love, obviously. Whoa. Have you never been in love? Oh, this is interesting. Let's investigate this. What is going on here, she wonders, between her and Char? It seems she is feeding into his self-destructive tendencies and becoming codependent on Char. She tells Nanai that Char is a textbook man who seeks a maternal figure, while also despising his mother for not loving him enough. Lala, Haman, Rekawa, and now Nanai. He is simply going to use her. Nanai says that the relationship transcends these traditional gender roles, and she certainly said that with a straight face. Saphira could see through her. The Investigation Bureau not only studies battle data, they also study their psychological profile. In this moment, it seems that Saphira understands Char more so than Nanai. Before she walks out, Saphira tells Nanai that a baby would throw her entire world upside down. After interrogating Saphira, a scientist approaches Nanai and informs her that they found trace amounts of Betanar in the 2's system. This is apparently used for cyber new type enhancements. Also, Yuta has high levels of it in his system as well. Char takes Yuta out in the below zero temperatures to show him a hole in the earth caused by mining for resources. He tells Yuta that back in the old century, people had to find ways to beat the harshness of the environment. But soon it became too much and people stopped for the sake of humanity. But then in Universal Century, the majority of humanity lived out in space. People were willing to stop destroying the earth if it meant the destruction of humanity. But people are unwilling to stop the overpollution merely for the planet's sake. So people in 2024 are handling this better? Yeah, suck it, Universal Century. Now the privileged few are trying to monopolize Earth by forcing people into space. On Moon, Yuta tells Char that there are locusts like this as well. They use bigger nets to overfish, or they overtill the soil, making it harder for generations down the line to use. These behaviors are highly frowned upon. He says that once humanity heads to space, the Earth can rest. He wants to stop the forces of infinite growth. Yuta remembers the conversation he had with his grandfather, where they pondered if man could live in space without a spacesuit. Char asks Yuta to join him and help bury the old system, help create a world where new types like him can exist. On Luna 2, the Raw Gale's crew is running skirmishes with Amado and the Razaim crew. They are practicing for their attack on Antarctica. Ubaldo wonders why they are using their Special Forces unit instead of the big fleet. They think that they will be a distraction while EFF sends out a bigger ground force. Ubaldo looks up at Earth. He wants to save Yuta. The Raw Gale's repairs would have taken 2 months to finish, but they were cleared to speed up the process. Also, all ships involved in this operation involves only units that interacted with Moon. Certainly, this is to capture Minerva, but something about Moon doesn't sit right. They're keeping it a secret and leaving it to Londo Bell instead of the great EFF fleet. Back at the Neo Zeon base, they are stripping Moon Gundam for enhancements, but Yuta thinks they are destroying it. Char lets him know they are replacing its generator. He wants to give Yuta a mobile suit fit for him, whether they become allies or enemies. When Yuta asks about Agos, Char actually says the quiet part out loud, which he rarely does. He says that humanity cannot wait for everyone to become new types, which is why they create cyber new types like Agos. He is forcing evolution, which is the core difference between Zeon and EFF from a philosophical standpoint. Do you abandon the bottom at the expense of progress at the top, or do you help everyone equally, potentially at the expense of progress? Or in the case of EFF and Zeon, it is bureaucratic democracy versus a strong national agenda driven by the oligarchy. Yuta sees Char treating humans and mobile suits no differently. His hesitance towards Char remains. Nanai goes to tell Char about Yuta and Minerva's results. He asks if the drugs are taking effect in their system. He seems to be aware of it. Horst Harness seems to have found information about Moon Moon that EFF has been hiding for some time. There is a reason why the psychoplates drifted to the colony. This is actually a conspiracy that dates back to the old century. He sends Nanai some files to look over. Char wonders what the doll on Moon Moon will do, referring to Luce. On Moon Moon, Luce calls for a ceasefire during Renault and Saras's wedding as a present. Klaus and Olvo, or is it Ansgar? I don't know, they all have the same face. They tell the Moon Moon rebels of the ceasefire. And of course, they tell him what a ceasefire actually is as well. Stupid hippies. More on that in a second. Oval says that Luce's eyes aren't that of a 13-year-old, and that he wonders if the rumors are true. Sarasa's handmaidens plan for her wedding. They apologize as they won't be able to have something so extravagant in the next 24 hours during the ceasefire. They give her a headband that belonged to their mother. She flashes back to when she was younger. Eld Moon is telling Sarasa and Rasara the story of the two tribes that once ruled Moon Moon. The Moon Tribe and the Tribe of Arts. In the present, Saki goes to do the tradition of giving the groom a sponge bath. We need more traditions with sponge baths. He wants to do it himself, but it has to be done by a handmaiden. Now strip. He gets naked to reveal a marking on his side. It is the marking of Arts. He was so self-conscious of it that he never played in the lakes when he was younger. Saki says that Yuta wouldn't have cared and went into the lake. She hopes that Yuta returns soon. She says this marriage will transcend the Moon Tribe. Camillo, the Licht family butler, I guess, informs Alfonso of Nilda's mysterious night rides. He reflects back to the past when Renault was a baby. Nilda refused to breastfeed him and seems to be harboring resentment. It begins raining on Moon Moon. Meanwhile, Raimel injects herself with what can be assumed is the mysterious product of Moon Moon. Raimel says that when medicine comes, the true ruler of darkness will meet them. Everyone gathers for the wedding ceremony. In Antarctica, Nanai goes over Char's intel. The file is titled, Regarding Sale of Prototype Colony, Bernal 1, to Private Sector. Right before Universal Century, an experimental colony was created as a base for side construction. It also had an experimental module to see if humans could endure long-term habitation in space. It was originally meant to be dismantled, but after the experimental module, things started to pick up fast. Before the wedding, Sarasa holds the moon ceremony. Luce and Neo Zeon watches on. He says this isn't Sarasa's doing. It is just a program made 100 years ago that opens the windows to the colony to allow light to reflect into it. Some underpaid engineer vicariously created a program which created a religion. Remember, Moon Moon was an attempt by the Kamige Corporation to create a Disneyland colony. Then, government interference reversed the sale from happening. This caused the Kamige Corporation tens of billions in losses. Someone bought a colony for less than what Elon Musk bought Twitter. That number should have been in the trillions, I feel. The Kamige Corporation tried to litigate this. The government interference was actually not sinister in nature. The experimental module that these colonies were built with, although fine in short term, is quite damaging in the long term, as there wasn't sufficient radiation shielding seen in modern colonies. These never should have been given to the private sector to begin with. The litigation went on for years, but eventually the Kamige Corporation recouped their losses. The problem comes with the colony squatters. After the destruction of Laplace, the death of the president, and the rise in authoritarianism, there was a rise in anti-authoritarian sentiments, and with it came a rise in hippies, which hasn't been seen since the old century. Many saw the colonies as a commune heaven. The Kamige Corporation took advantage of these hippies to recoup the remaining losses of the colonies. They can't occupy it with people, but they can sell these dangerous colonies to a bunch of people who want to hide from EFF so they could build their communes. Of course, EFF knew, but there seems to be some bureaucratic red tape that makes it hard to kick out settlers off lands with established ownership. It'll just be another litigation that'll take years. Over time, all of the communes of Bernal 1 formed into one. It became known as the Utopia Moon Moon. Of course, they still relied on outside trade, which was handled in a shady manner by Kamige. Eventually, through enough lengthy legal battles, EFF was able to evict the hippies and strip these colonies that never should have been. But for some reason, it never happened. The people of Moon Moon seem to have a plan from the beginning if this were to ever happen. Sarasa Moon says that she is merging the Licht and Moon families and declares that Renault is her husband. Yeah, this man is mine now. They must stand up and fight to vanquish the darkness. She says, let any dissenters speak now. That is when Raimel crashes the wedding. She is here to remind the Light Tribe that the darkness is what fuels Moon Moon. And that will do it for this episode. We are finally getting answers to the history of Moon, but we still don't know exactly what this medicine is. Next time, we will finally learn what medicine is, and the secret that the Licht family has been hiding for almost a century. And Char tells Yuta of the history of his colony. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, what's a little radiation? Take the risk. Peace.